Next concept is shared data. Which data you can share? The instance and static field will be shared. Instance variable and static variable. Instance variable means the variable that is defined inside a class is called the instance variable. So, जो instance variable और static variable instance and static variable. Static variable means the variable that you have to define as a static. Okay, in a class. So that is called as the static variable. So instance and static variable can be shared. Instance and static field can be shared. It must be accessed by the thread with cousin because it may be changed concurrently by the multiple. Okay, so एक thread दो वेरिएबल है जिस सीक्वेंस में एक्सेस करेगा तो जब दूसरा थ्रेड आएगा so that second thread is not access that variable in the same sequence. So when you sharing the data, the sequence of accessing the information is different. The instance and static field will always change. It must be accessed by the thread with cousin because it may be changed concurrently by the multiple thread. So in the multiple thread, concurrently it will change. So right. Some variable type that is never shared. Some variable is present which is never shared in the thread. Which variable is not shared variable or which variable is like private type of variable. So that is called as a local variable. As you know that local variable जो variable आप function के अंदर define करते हो sharing नहीं हो. Method के अंदर जो parameter होता है वो parameter सिर्फ method के अंदर ही validate रहेगा. और next है exception handler parameter. So these are the three variable are present. Those are never shared or it is immutable. Okay, these are the immutable. Local variable, method parameter, exception handler parameter. These are called the thread set type variable. Right? The non-shared data. Example of non-shared data. The thread operation that you can perform on one thread may not appear to be executed in the same order by another thread. एक thread जिस order में काम करता है, thread का मतलब है सब process. एक process के अंदर जो सब process जिस order में काम करता है, that is not like mandate that in another thread or in another process the thread are working in the same order. क्योंकि हम पहले से पढ़े हैं थ्रेड इज अ इंडिपेंडेंट पाथ एग्जीक्यूशन इन ए प्रोग्राम. It may result in out of order execution due to the code optimization. कोड ऑप्टिमाइजेशन का मतलब से क्या होगा, ये आउट ऑफ ऑर्डर एग्जीक्यूशन होगा. थ्रेड में बी ऑपरेटिंग ऑन कैश कॉपी ऑफ शेयर वेरिएबल. इट मस्ट बी सिंक्रोनाइज. सिंक्रोनाइज का मतलब क्या है, सपोज आपका एक मेन मेमोरी है, एक थ्रेड आकर काम करेगा और दूसरा थ्रेड आकर काम करेगा, तो आप जो डेटा है आप सेम डेटा के ऊपर काम करते हो. सपोज मान लीजिए आपका फेसबुक है, तो फेसबुक आप मोबाइल में आप फोटो अपडेट कर सकते हो, लैपटॉप से भी फोटो अपडेट कर सकते हो, लेकिन ये दोनों सिंक्रोनाइज है आपका फेसबुक डेटाबेस के साथ. तो जो भी डेटाबेस और जिस भी डिवाइस में आप जो भी काम करोगे ऑटोमेटिक फेसबुक सर्वर में अपडेट हो जाए. तो दैट इज कॉल्ड एज व्हाट, थ्रेड ऑपरेशन. मींस व्हाट, it must be synchronized in the action, ensure the consistent behavior. तो सिंक्रोनाइज होने से आप किसी भी डिवाइस में वर्क करो तो ये आपको सेम आउटपुट शो करेगा. It have working memory where it keep the track of own copy of the variable. जैसे कि थ्रेड क्या होता है, थ्रेड इज अ सब प्रोसेस. प्रोसेस के अंदर एक सब प्रोसेस चलता है. अगर आप सब प्रोसेस में कुछ काम कर रहे हो तो प्रोसेस क्या करेगा, सब प्रोसेस को एक एक कॉपी दे दे. उस कॉपी में थ्रेड काम करेगा, उसका काम खत्म होने के बाद सारा डेटा को लेकर डिपॉजिट करेगा कहां पर, ना थ्रेड में डिपॉजिट करेगा. तो थ्रेड ऑपरेशन इज जस्ट लाइक इट इज वर्क ऑन द कॉपी ऑफ द वेरिएबल एंड दैट कॉपी इज सिंक्रोनाइज्ड, राइट. Synchronization of a thread working with the main memory with involved volatile read and write of a variable. Volatile means the data is always changes. That is a volatile. Okay, means by using of synchronization a thread working memory with main memory involved volatile read or write of a variable, locking or unlocking of a monitor. इसका मतलब है at the time when you read the data, write is stopped. At the time you are writing the data, read is stopped. That is a volatile read or write operation. Locking or unlocking of a monitor, first and last action of a thread. So when you synchronize, first element are stored, then second element are stored. Action that start a thread or detect that thread has terminated. So you have to ensure that which thread has started, that thread you have to terminate. Action that start a thread or detect that thread has terminated. That is called the synchronization. Volatile modifier can be applied to a field. Volatile means what? You can, like you define a variable as static, आप एक वेरिएबल को volatile define कर सकते हो. When you define a variable as volatile, that means the value is changes. Field causes a thread to synchronize its working memory with main memory. It doesn't mean atomic. You cannot define this variable as atomic. Okay, atomic means the variable value is constant. Volatile means the variable value is always changing. Okay. Right. If you see that public volatile, here volatile is defined in variable. Right. Main method is another thread. It is executed in a separate thread. When you are writing a program in Java, so the main method is also called as a what, main thread. Okay, so it is executed as a separate thread, and this thread is not, you are not writing any kind of star statement or anything. It is automatically the thread is executed. Okay, so automatically it is created by the JV. Right, main thread. The thread that you are using, it is a independent execution path within a process. Thread is a independent path execution within a program. So to make it synchronize, आपको इसको सिंक्रोनाइज करने के लिए हम यहाँ पर सिंक्रोनाइज कीवर्ड यूज करते हैं. सिंक्रोनाइज एंड सिंक्रोनाइज कोड ब्लॉक. देखिए सिंक्रोनाइज कीवर्ड आप डिफाइन करो. कहाँ पर सिंक्रोनाइज कीवर्ड डिफाइन किया जाएगा ना, जब आप कोई भी मेथड डिफाइन कर रहे हो, पब्लिक स्टैटिक डिस्प्ले, तो स्टैटिक की जगह पर आप सिंक्रोनाइज यूज करो. सिंक्रोनाइज करने से वो उसके अंदर जो कोडिंग आप लिखोगे और थ्रेडिंग इसको अप्लाई करोगे वो सिंक्रोनाइज हो जाएगा. मतलब एक स्टेप बाय स्टेप एग्जीक्यूशन होगा, वो इंडिपेंडेंट एग्जीक्यूशन नहीं होगा. आइदर मेथड को सिंक्रोनाइज बना दो और सिंक्रोनाइज का खुद का कोड ब्लॉक है. आप एक अलग सा सिंक्रोनाइज मेथड डाल दो तो वहां पर भी आपका सिंक्रोनाइज हो जाएगा. In two way you can define as a synchronized code. You can make your program synchronized. Either you have to define synchronized keyword inside the method in a method, or you can create a separate synchronized code block. Because in the two way you can implement. Right. See there. Each object in Java is associated with a monitor. Monitor means whenever you are moving through a traffic, there is a traffic signal are there, which is notifying you when to stop and when to move. Similar way, after writing the synchronized block also, we are using a monitor class, which is identifying that when to move and when to stop. Here we are using two type of thing like synchronized method. It use the monitor to this object. Another is we are using synchronized code block. तो दो तरीका से यहाँ पर यूज किए, एक है synchronized method और एक है synchronized code block. So by using of the two things, by using of synchronized method or it is a synchronized code block, we can make the method as synchronized, or we what we can say to the step-by-step execution, or execute the program in proper way we are using it. As you know that the thread is an independent path execution of program, so any thread is executing anytime, so that we make them as a step-by-step execution very easy. Right. Here we are using interrupt method. Interrupt method is a convenient way to stop a thread. If you want to stop a thread, then interrupt method is used. Interrupt is used to stop a thread. Okay, like if you want to stop or pause a thread for the specific time period, then we're using interrupt. Okay, so write these 2 points. T1 dot start, thread is start, T1 dot interrupt, is stop the thread.